Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Carrots and Olives. My name is Brittany, and people are not kidding when they say they're a bit rusty when it comes to YouTube videos. I've only been out for maybe like a couple months, and I feel like I can't properly do a intro video because this is like my fourth take. Anyhow, today I just wanted to do an update, a mid-year review. So what have I purchased and where am I at now with my planners and journals? So let me slide in pretty much all the journals I had at the beginning of the year for the most part, except for this Kinbor. This is the A6 Kinbor I purchased because I really wanted to try the brand. I really wanted to try the paper and just see what the differences are between an A6 Hobonichi and an A6 Kinbor. So I love this idea of having an alternative to a Hobonichi, very similar to a Hobonichi. Some of the fonts and sizing are different, which is really nice. It seems like Kinbor gives you a little bit more space to work with. And I really was using it for like some weight goals and journaling with specific pens, and that did not last very long. So I kind of know that this would be a great brand for me, or like cost-effective brand to use. I think it was like $10 on AliExpress, which was like the first time I shopped on the website this year, and decided I wanted to try this out. The only thing I do not like about it is the fact that it does not lay flat. So this piece here, I love like this cover. It's like a really thick leather type cover, but maybe over time, if I used it more than like a couple months, I could have trained it to lay flat, but it just won't lay flat. And that is something that kind of made me not want to use it very much anymore. So there's the A6 Kinbor. I also have my 5-year, which is ending this year. And I'm trying to think about whether or not I should pursue another 5-year journal. I did not do the best job in completing this journal, and I'm still not doing a good job in trying to finish out this current year. So would this be a good idea to have for next year? Still trying to figure it out. The first year I did very well. I filled out almost every single page, if not every single page. Second year, the effort was probably half. And then third year, it was half of that. And fourth year, just going down, down, down. So not sure if I want to repurchase that. Next, I did get a B6 Slim notebook from Sterling Ink, and I love her notebooks. I love the gold foiling on the edge, the option to have the gold foiling, but this size just doesn't suit me anymore. When I first started in journals and YouTube, I really love the B6 Slim size, and I really love a chunky B6 Slim. I fill out every single page in the, what was it called? The Nami Cafe B6 Slim, and it was perfect. And I even bought this cover back then. And when Sterling Ink came out with a B6 Slim option, I was over the moon. I was like, oh, this is going to bring me back to those days where I will journal like I did in the B6 Slim. Nope, that did not happen. I think I used this a little bit for like school year stuff, but then it just became, blank paper notebook. So, and I'm still not really drawn to using it because the size is just not as comfortable as it used to be. Or let's just say back in the day, I wasn't familiar with all the sizes yet. So when I got this B6 slim size, I just thought it was the best thing in the world. But it's not comfortable to me because I don't have a lot of arm room to journal in this notebook. So that was the main problem, the main issue for this one. And then now we get to my big notebooks, my big journals and planners. I also got the 2025 daily planner from Sterling Ink. I got this later, probably by a couple of weeks. I think I purchased it the very last day of the year last year. And so it wasn't the first thing that I could use on day one, which I think also contributed to me not being consistent with this notebook. I love this cover, and that's really what drawn me to get this and try it out. So this is the one day a page, which was like her new offering for this year, and I was really intrigued by that. However, I was running into some issues with ink on some of the pages, and that really made the notebook feel sour. So I did do some swatching, and I did use this to prepare for some interviews I had earlier in the year, and that's pretty much all I did. I would still come back to this and use it as needed for jotting down notes and whatnot. But for the most part, I feel like I can't use this as a journal because I've already kind of used it for a lot of random things. And the paper smearing, let's see if I can find a page. I couldn't really use, like right here. There was a little bit of bleed through, and some of my inks just like this one. Of course, that's the Magna Carta, but I don't know. I didn't like how the ink was performing on the paper. I know that's not her fault. That is a new Tomoe River paper issue. So now we're left with these two. My ride or die is really my Hobonichi. And this is the Hobonichi Hon. It is the hardcover. I love the hardcover and like the shiny hardcover, honestly. It reminds me of high school yearbooks. And in my time, high school yearbooks, that was like the ultimate thing. Get your high school yearbook, everyone signs it, and you flip through the pages and find yourself. And it just reminds me of that. And I love this thing. I love the one I had last year as well, which is why I got it again this year. And I will most likely get another one for the following year. And then I have a Sterling Ink B5. And just to put in perspective the size here, this is the A5, this is the B5. I got this first and I was prepared to use it. And I think that is key, is when you plan ahead and you really figure out what journals you want to use. I really planned for using this journal and my Hobonichi Hon. Everything else kind of was random. Oh, I could use it for this or I could use it for that, and never really came to fruition. And in that, I knew exactly what I wanted to use it for. So opposite of the experience here, I really like this cover, and I just didn't buy it in time for me to use day one. So it kind of threw me off. But this one I did buy, and I had it for probably a couple weeks before the new year was going to start. This is my work planner, which is also interesting because I do use Outlook for work for pretty much everything, but this has been a supplement to that. And I don't quite fill out the months pages. I really didn't use this page or this page or like most of the front stuff because I have my calendar for that, my work calendar on my computer. But what I have done is use my weeks. I don't know if I can really show you anything that wouldn't be something I could show, but a blank page. But the weeks, they are vertical. I preferred the vertical just for timing, and also because that's what I'm using in my Hobonichi. The horizontal, although I've used that similar to a Hobonichi Weeks, it just doesn't work very well for me. But the vertical planning works well. So at first I was blocking off time for meetings, but my meetings changed so often that it just became a waste of my time to try to replicate that in this planner. So now for the most part, I am just writing down all my to-dos or things I want to get done and checking them off throughout the week. And that has been working very well. And then I also started using the back pages, and I actually use the back pages a little bit more and write my notes down. When I was taking a class, I was writing my notes for that, and there's just so much room and space to write everything down that I was like, why haven't I been using this size the whole time, like for years? The size isn't new, but now that I have like Tomoe River paper, it makes the book not as thick, right? And the pages are nice and easy to kind of flip through. I'm not really using the fountain pen very much in here, which is why the paper issue doesn't bother me, because it's mainly gel pen. I'm also, I don't know, it's just, I love it. And it just makes it very easy. So sometimes when I am not in the mood to use the weekly pages, I just come to the back, I date the page, and I write all my notes and to-dos on that page. And then it's been pretty handy to kind of go back on things and be able to jot down things that happen really quickly, or like things I need to just put on paper so I don't forget. And sometimes when I'm working in a smaller space, it's hard to like scribble down your words. But when you have a larger space to work with, it's just, it feels more comfortable, and I feel more at ease with this. So this B5 has been working really well for me. Will I be getting another one? I think so. But I'm trying to decide. I think I do need the calendar. It's been pretty handy to be able to reference dates, right, and have those in here. So I believe I will be getting another one of these for 2026, just to, even if I don't fill this in all the way, which I anticipate I won't be filling this in all the way, but I do want the data pages, and I do want to be able to see and use, okay, this is the one that I used for 2025. This is what happened in 2025. This is what happened in 2026. So I don't think I can use the same notebook, or at least for me, for the things I would need to keep track of. I wouldn't want to keep 2026 in that notebook. I want to keep the years separate. But this has been working amazing. I love like the floppiness in it, and I don't have a cover for it. I just take it like this. It actually just sits on my desk, and it's normally already open to the page, and I love how I can fold it back on itself. Let's see, just like this. And sometimes I take a clip and I just clip it together so it stays here throughout the whole day, and I am just going at it and writing down the notes. Things happen so quickly, in my on the day-to-day for my job that many cases I can't write neat. The only and so I need a lot of space to be able to scribble things down. This was something I was able to write neat because I had to take a class. So I was listening. I could pause the class. It was an online class, and I could pause it and write everything down nice and neat for the most part. But on the day-to-day, I need the space and I need to be able to jot things down quickly. My handwriting is not neat unless it's something I can, sit and relax and listen to. But this has been a game changer for me. I'm so thrilled that I managed to, that it's working out for me, really. Okay, so let me show you a little bit more in the A5. So this is my baby. In my day-to-day, you can see it's kind of tearing a little bit. I added a few stickers. This one's mine. This is from Simone. And every year I've been doing this, which is adding stickers from the shops I purchased from. So sticker, sticker, sticker. I think even in the back, we have some stickers back here. Do I have any more? Put some my kids stickers in here. Don't really use this so much. I have been tracking because I've been on this journey to be a better me. So really, this actually I'm really proud of, really trying to track things, trying to get healthy and exercise more and do all the things I need to do. So that has been handy. I can't imagine using this any other way, even though over the years I've tried to use it other ways. And this is the only, tracking is the only way that makes sense to me on these pages. Some years, many years, I couldn't really track very well. This is probably the first year that I've been able, first or second year, not consecutively, but that I've been able to track something consistently for this long. So I have been using, the monthlies. Lately, it's kind of died off just a little bit. I need to start planning again because school actually starts for us in September. So I can see this starting to get filled in again pretty fully. And then my weeklies, they kind of come and go depending on how busy I am. So, of course, the beginning of the year, I am a little bit more attentive to my journal. I did come back and start filling things in with stickers, which is just really appealing to me still. And so that's just something I enjoy doing. It kind of calms me down. So when I get an opportunity, take that to fill in. And then some weeks I just don't have much to add because it was a crazy week. And especially around the summertime, not much is going on or everything is going on. And so, yes, there are places that do need some decorating and some things I just need to come back on and fill in. So that's the weeklies. And then my dailies have been take pictures at the beginning of the year, and then we just kind of start filling things in. But this was the time when I realized I just don't have time to fill things in. I just don't have the time anymore. So this has been a little bit eye-opening that, I'm going to have a lot more empty pages or not too filled up pages. I'm getting over it just a little bit, but I wish I could have been a little bit more, push myself a little bit more to fill out the pages. I'm still adding photos, but you can see it's just been more focused on being in the day than talking about the day. And then just being so exhausted by the end. And so I usually take time whenever we're actually doing something, like we went to Sesame's place, we went Topgolf, or we went golfing on our vacation. We, went to family. And so places, oftentimes when there's like a lot of photos, I'm typically writing. It's like, except for that day. So yeah, there's just, I don't know, it still makes me happy when I do get an opportunity to fill things in. But yeah, there's just a lot more blanks in my journal than I wish I had. And I guess it's just a sign of me enjoying life and being in the moment with those that I love. So will I buy this again? Yes. Is this too much space for me? Sometimes. But I love the A5 because you just have the room to write. It's not uncomfortable. And it's just really satisfying to see a completed page filled in. And then you get that like hardcover. I have put this in a couple of covers over the years, or like over the months to protect it. But it is, because it's a strong hardcover, it's fine for me being like this. And I've even thrown it like this into my backpack, into my work bag, into my purse. That's why it probably has like some tears and the corners are starting to bend in. I love the Hobonichi Hon. So I am really excited to be able to, we're kind of entering planner season, and it's exciting to see what Hobonichi's coming out with. I hope they improve their paper. For the most part, I have had pretty decent luck with the paper. Sometimes with some of my inks, it's not the best match, and so I'll just switch to a different pen and ink combination. I have been using a lot more fine fountain pens this year. I don't know if that's just a phase. I kind of just go in and out of these phases. But typically a fine fountain pen will give me less stress of the paper acting wonky than any other size. So that could also be a reason. But what I have been enjoying is I haven't been using fountain pens as much as I have in the previous years. I've actually been using a lot more gel pens, and maybe that's a reason why I've been using, haven't been using my fountain pens and like the paper. Maybe subconsciously I'm just like, oh, I need to make sure I use something that is not going to piss me off that day. So the pens I've been using the most gel-wise have been the Clenas. And I have a lot of Clenas hanging around my house, in my bags, on my desk. I usually prefer the 0.03, but I do have 0.05. And I've actually, for the first time this year, filled in a journal page with a gel pen. Something I typically do not use. I use my fountain pens for the journaling, and then I kind of go, if I want to use fountain pens for my planning piece. But this year I started using a couple gel pens for my journaling, which is, it kind of like makes me cringe just a little bit, but it is what it is. I don't do it very often. I did it probably for like maybe 5 pages. And then I got this one. This is the Pilot Emily 0.5. This is actually a ballpoint, but it writes really well and I don't have to put a lot of pressure. And so then I could put color on it and nothing smears. And then I've also enjoyed this one, which is the Calm A5. You can get these from Yoseka or probably Jet Pens. And sometimes I even go back as far as using the Sarasa Dry. This is the big thick one in 0.7. Don't do this very often, but I have done it. Actually, I do it more in my planner or in my my work planner. And then I just have my pens in here. I've kind of been hanging around. This has been hanging around the house more often than just using like a pen case, just because I've been having a lot of pens inked up at once and have hardly had much time to keep up with like what's inked and what's not inked. So it's easier for me to keep up with a huge like little bundle of my pens than the individual cases, because they wouldn't all fit. So let me know if you want to see more about what pens I have inked up right now at the moment. And I hope you found this video helpful. What are you guys getting for next year? Are you excited? August 1st is next week. And so the preview of Hobonichi stuff will be starting then, I believe. But yeah, thank you for joining me. Hopefully I won't be, I'll be able to create a new video soon. Let me know your thoughts. Talk to you soon. Bye.